Since its launch, the Hyundai Creta has been a roaring success and has topped the sales charts continuously. And well, the Creta has always been that compact SUV that every other manufacturer or car wanted to be. So a lot of companies tried but really couldn't affect the Creta much. That was until Kia came along with its debut model in India, and hence Hyundai had to respond, and this is their answer, the all-new Creta, which we are driving now as the lockdown eases. The challenge for this Creta, unlike the first one, is that this needs to pick up from where the old Creta left. So it needs to be better, it needs to post great sales, and more importantly, it needs to beat the Kia Seltos. Now, the first thing you'll notice about the new Creta is that, well, it looks pretty much new. It's got little or almost no resemblance to the outgoing model, and well, whether that's a good thing or not, it depends on an individual's choice, because the biggest change with this Creta is that unlike the older model, which was kind of pleasing and soothing on everyone's eye or taste, this one has got quite a polarizing design, so you will either love it or not at all. Biggest changes you'll notice up front is of course this massive grille, and it's got lots of chrome. Well, that should keep many buyers happy. You've also got these great looking headlamp. Now again, these have got that unconventional setup. So they've got the LED DRL on the top, the headlamp cluster below, and of course this LED design that wraps around, well, that really looks the part. Now the rest of the design also up front is quite dynamic and sharp. You can see also these very nice lines running along the hood. Even at the lower part of the bumper, you can see a lot of sharp angles, and what that does is it gives the Creta a lot of sporty appeal. Now the same sporty appeal is carried forward as you move along the side of this vehicle, and a good thing is, as you can see above the wheel arches, I like this design quite a lot. It gives the Creta a kind of a compact and a racy proportion. It doesn't really make it look as if it's a bulky vehicle, so that's a good thing. And you've got these nice looking 17-inch alloy wheels here. Depending on the variant you choose, you can even get a 16-inch one, but a 16 and 17 is what you get. Move along further towards the side, you've got these smart looking roof rails, and of course the body lines again quite dynamic, quite sharp. The same kind of sharp creases continue at the rear as well, and well, the tail lamps are quite striking ones. They look sharp. The LED cluster inside is quite dynamic and looks special in the dark. So yes, full marks for that. And of course, if you look at the tailgate, again, you've got very nice creases going along it. So yes, that coupled with the lower part of the bumper, the twin exhaust tips, all of it is clearly in place to give the Creta a sportier appeal than it had in the previous generation. And for my personal taste, it does work, but for some, like I said earlier, this is still a polarizing design. A boot space is a very important factor for someone buying a vehicle in the compact SUV segment, and the Creta, the new Creta in fact, delivers well on these expectations. You've got a voluminous boot which has been designed well, and what that means is you can easily slide in stuff inside the boot, and you can actually end up using most of the volume on offer, and that means your weekend outing luggage or your airport runs are not going to be an hassle at all. Now, like I talked about the exterior design, which is polarizing and people could have different opinions about it, well, that isn't the case once you're inside the Creta, and that's a good thing because you'll be spending a lot more time inside the cabin than seeing the design on the outside. And that means what you get is a package that is going to appeal to most people, in my opinion. Now, the reason for that is, if you look at the dashboard, it's a very nicely laid out dashboard. And well, this is the 1.4 top variant, the 1.4 liter turbo engine variant with the DCT, and that's why you have this all black interior. But depending on the variant you choose, you could have a dual colored dashboard as well. So yes, this goes along well with the sporty theme. You've got this really nice and premium looking infotainment screen up front in the center console, and the good thing is it's got a slight tilt towards the driver. It's a good thing because it gives a kind of a wrap around, a kind of a cocoon effect to the driver, so everything feels as if it's right within the reach and at the right place. So full marks to the designers on that part. The screen itself is quite nice. It's got a very good resolution even under direct sunlight, which you can see right now. There is a lot of sunlight filtering inside the cabin, but still the visibility is quite nice. The touch response is quite fluid, and again even the user interface is quite nice. You get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, there's navigation. The best part is you get Hyundai's Blue Link connectivity, which means, like we have seen on the Venue earlier, you get an inbuilt SIM within this card, and that means this is a fully connected vehicle. And what that does is it allows you to do a lot of things, including tracking your vehicle's location, geofencing it. Even you can track down the vehicle if it's stolen. You can remotely start your vehicle or stop, or even switch on the air conditioner. So yes, a lot of connectivity features. That is something that really sets the Creta apart from many of its rivals. Now, once with the infotainment system out of the way, once you move down along the center console, you've got a place where you can place your mobile phone for wireless charging. You've got a fast charging USB outlet, a 12-volt socket, and a normal USB outlet as well. So multiple devices, keeping them charged on the go, not a problem for the new Creta. You also have these ventilated seats, which in these times, especially in the northern parts of the country, when it gets really hot, will come to be as a blessing. And it really helps a lot because you can get seat cooling through this function here. And of course, talking about the seats themselves are quite comfortable. They've got nice padding, and they've got a firm setting to it. But yes, it's a good chunky steering wheel to hold. It's got the usual MID as well as the cruise control and the telephony controls here. And beyond that, the AC vents are again quite nice, very different in terms of design. You've got these red accents to it. Looks nice, goes well with the sporty theme of this variant. And in terms of practical spacing too, well, the door pockets are large enough to easily accommodate your large 1-liter bottles and still be left with space for more. There is enough space to keep things here. You've got some nice space here, so even on top of the phone you can place your wallet. But this instrument cluster changes color and the design as per the mode that you select. So yes, it is something that sparks a bit of a freshness inside the cabin every time you use a different mode. Looks nice, loads of information, yet everything is spot on and very clear to read. For many of the Creta buyers, the rear seat will be quite an important place because the Creta will be used as a family vehicle. And well, if you're sitting in the rear seat, or if anyone else is, well, this is not a place where anyone should have any complaints. Now, the reason for that is because even after having the driver's seat adjusted to my driving preference, I have a lot of leg room to spare. I can easily slide my feet under the driver's seat, and even in terms of headroom, you can see, well, I really won't have any problem. In fact, even people who are taller than me wouldn't have much of an issue, and my height for reference is 5 feet 8 inches. Now, beyond that, again, the seat itself is quite nice. You've got a nice backrest angle to it, and of course these really good pillows sort of, which give you very good support. And especially if you're going to be on a long drive in the rear seat of the Creta, these are going to come in very handy. There's this nice cushioned armrest as well, and you've got dual cup holders here. You've got, just like the Seltos, you've got an air purifier with an inbuilt digital display. Really looks the part, looks premium, and the best part about it is is that you can really tinker around with some of its functions sitting from here itself. Now, the other really nice bits about the Creta include these sun blinds. So that's a really good thing for comfort as well as privacy after you've had a long day. And you have this segment first panoramic sunroof, which you can access using voice control as well. Open sunroof.
Opening the sunroof.
Now let's talk about my favorite part about the new Creta, and that is the performance. Now, as far as the powertrain is concerned, the new Creta is equipped with the same powertrain options as the Kia Seltos. So in this variant, you get the 1.4 liter turbocharged engine with a DCT, and unlike the Seltos, the Creta does not get a manual option, but you get 138 horsepower of peak power, and you get a healthy torque of 242 Newton meters. Now that's quite a lot of torque for this category of a compact SUV, and the best thing about the torque is that this is delivered from quite low in the rev range, so you get it between 1500 and 3200 RPM, and that means that the drivability of this motor is quite nice. It doesn't really need to be revved all the time to get performance from it, so that's a good thing. The transmission itself is quite impressive. The shift speed is quite nice, and if you are in sports mode, it is eager to downshift. Apart from that, the best thing is that if you want more control, you get segment first paddle shifters, and these are really impressive, and these allow you to take control of the gearbox, and that means you can have a lot more fun with this impressive motor. As far as refinement is concerned, again, this engine scores well. It is a refined motor, and in most day-to-day conditions, you won't even notice any sound from it. It's only when you're really caning the motor hard, well, that is the only time when the sound can get a little intrusive inside the cabin, and but beyond that, it's a great motor. It's refined. It's like I said, it's quick. Acceleration is good. Off the line performance is nice. In gear acceleration is nice. Reaching triple digit or highway speeds is really effortless. You can drive at triple digit speeds effortlessly through the day, and the motor will not complain. Now, as far as ride and handling is concerned, well, handling for a car that has a potent powertrain combination, it's quite important to have good handling, and the new Creta is significantly better than the older model. It's got a suspension setup that's slightly stiffer, slightly firmer than the older model, and what that does is it makes a great deal of difference to the way this vehicle handles. So now around corners, you can really push the Creta a lot harder than you could push the older one. Straight line stability has also improved marginally, and again, stability under hard or panic braking has also improved. Overall, a positive development. The ride quality might not be as plush as the older Creta, but again, the difference is quite small, so it's not a kind of a compromise. It's still a very comfortable vehicle to be in. It can still soak in most of the road undulations and the potholes quite nicely and filter them out. So yes, a good balance between performance and comfort. Now, the other good thing in the new Creta is that you get different driving modes, and you also get modes for traction. Now, if you talk about the driving mode, you get to choose between Eco, Comfort and Sport. Eco, as the name suggests, will change the settings to the point where your throttle response is a little lower, and the engine will not feel as sprightly. But it's not really a dull mode, so you can use Eco mode even in daily city usage. Comfort, as the name suggests, is a good balance between all traits on offer, and Sport again is the one you want to be in if you want to have fun and want to enjoy the performance from this motor. The gearbox holds on to the gears much longer in the Sport mode, so yes, you can have a lot of fun with that. And well, on offer, the new Creta also gives you a choice between another petrol and a diesel engine, along with a CVT for the petrol and a torque converter automatic for the diesel. But the performance for that will be done on some other day when we drive those cars. But what I can tell you right now is that if you are in the market for performance, if driving pleasure is what you seek, the new Creta with this 1.4 liter turbocharged engine is pretty much the best vehicle you can go in for in the compact SUV segment right now. So by now we have clearly established that the new Creta definitely is a lot better than the older version, and it is better in almost every sense. It's got more features, it's more comfortable, it's more modern, it's more connected, and it's much more refined and better to drive. Now the big question that remains to be answered is, can it take back the segment leadership? And that too, considering that Kia Seltos is running pretty strong in the segment right now. Well, I personally think the Creta is a very good package. Whether it can beat the Seltos or not, well, that warrants for a one-to-one comparison, which we will do in a short while from now. But for now, what I can tell you is, if you go in for either of these two vehicles, you won't be going wrong. The only difference is that the Creta, being a newer one, has some more features than the Seltos. The Seltos has a better looking design and also the option of a manual gearbox with the turbocharged engine, which is not there in the Creta. But again, like I said, as far as the cabin is concerned, the Creta is pretty much spot on in terms of pricing, which you can see right now on your screen. Variant wise also, the Creta is priced very competitively, and again, the prices, there's very less to choose between the Seltos and the Creta. So yes, a comparison is something we will be doing in a few days from now, but for now I can tell you the Creta is definitely a vehicle you should consider if you're out in the market for a compact SUV segment, as it is pretty much a perfect compact SUV.